I know who the US will try to coup next, and no one's talking about it. Hello, my name is the United States, and I'm a coup-aholic. I just can't stop cooing. I thought I could quit whenever I wanted, but I have to admit, coups have a hold on me. And I just keep cooing morning, noon, night. Sometimes I mix in a little orange juice or cough syrup, or if I don't have either of those, even toothpaste. I'll take a coup any way I can get it. So you know the US has created a ridiculously long list of coups around the world over the past 50 years. Hell, we even couped ourselves once. JFK? What? Who said that? And I think I know who will start trying to coup next, which I'll get to in a couple of minutes. Our US government has multiple ways of bringing down other governments. There's the hard coup assassination way, such as Salvador Allende in Chile. There's the help violent protesters and perhaps even Nazis bring down their government, such as the 2014 Maidan coup in Ukraine. There's the announce someone else as the leader of a country even when no one ever voted for him, such as the 2019 announcement by the US that Juan Guaido, aka the Sultan of who? Was the president of Venezuela. That one didn't go so well. Then there's the lightest version, the soft coup, in which we just pressure lawmakers of a country to remove their prime minister. We committed a soft coup in Pakistan, achieving a vote of no confidence and removing Imran Khan from power. But that was way back last month. Let it go already. This is like that time my friend wouldn't let it go that I had borrowed his car and then gave it away to a street corner mime. What? He gave me his car in return. I'm sitting in it right now. But in order to find out who we're going to coup next, you have to first know why the US coups countries. In the case of Pakistan, it was not because we ate some bad biryani, as the White House tried to claim. It was actually that Imran Khan was aligning with Russia and signing economic deals with them. In the case of some of our most violent coups/invasions, it was because the country dropped the dollar and was going outside our central banking tentacles. This is true of Libya, Iraq, Syria, and although we haven't been able to coup them recently, Iran dropped the dollar while Trump was in office, and I said at the time that they better watch the fuck out! And sure enough, Trump dropped a drone bomb on their top general soon after, which Mr. Rogers taught me is not neighborly behavior. By the way, why is it never mentioned that Mr. McFeely is a terrible mailman in the American capitalistic paradigm of speed and efficiency over human connection? Coming in your house, sitting around, chit-chatting with Mr. Rogers about favorite songs and which birds are prettiest. Meanwhile, Miss Williams, 3 doors down, kicks the bucket because her heart medication didn't arrive on time. Where's that episode? Huh? Rogers? Another big reason we coup countries is because they threaten to take away our resources. And by our resources, I mean their resources, which the US ruling dickbags believe they're entitled to steal. When a country's leader takes the resources away from the greedy corporate parasites, seen here, and gives them to the people, it's called nationalizing the resources. And every time this happens, especially if the country has something the US likes, like oil, minerals, slave labor, or those little colorful umbrellas in the tropical drinks, we then coup them, or at least try to. We've done it to Chile, Ecuador, Bolivia, tried to do it to Venezuela, done it to plenty of countries in Africa, etc. I don't want to bore you with all the names. It's so common that former CIA officer turned whistleblower John Kiriakou said the CIA has a secret office devoted to cooing countries. And a CIA officer can walk in there and give his or her pitch for who they should coup next. Hey, this is the coup office, right? Okay, great. Well, what do you think about this? Uruguay. If we controlled them, we could tap into their sweet supplies of sheep and goats and stuff. It would all be ours. Also, my ex-wife moved down there with her new boyfriend, and I want to fuck up their shit, you know, put some salt in his gas tank, piss on their azaleas, etc. But I can't afford the flight unless we get to use the regime change expense account, so you'd be doing me a real solid. We could just coup them. This means, as you might guess, the US deep state has roughly zero respect for the people of other countries, their sovereignty, their democracy, their elected government. All that matters is what might be best for US hegemony. And I say might because the blowback could get us later. We love being blown in the back. You gotta be flexible for that kind of thing. Something else you need to know to figure out who the US will try to coup next is that we need lithium these days. Lithium is a metal that is increasingly required for our technologies, our electric cars, our batteries, our vacuum robots, our virtual reality ass hair redecorators. You're not gonna get more than 2-3 hours out of yours without a lithium battery. Be lucky to get one ass jig done in that time. So now that brings us to who the US will try to coup next. Here are some recent headlines. Mexican senators approve state control of lithium, sought by President AMLO. Business group blasts Mexico's new lithium law as violating trade deal. Mexico nationalizes lithium in populist president's push to extend state control. This means rather than give all of the profits of mining lithium to corporate control, including US corporations, those profits will go to the people of Mexico, the actual human beings, the exhausted single parents, the small, wide-eyed children, the pot-bellied, close-talking uncles. We all have one. And helping actual people rather than the vampires of the oligarchy is one of the worst sins, according to the U.S. empire. But Andre Lopez Manuel Obrador, AMLO, the president of Mexico, is committing a crime even greater than nationalizing lithium. He's creating a union. As Reuters reported, Mexico seeks lithium association with Argentina, Bolivia, and Chile. This association, if it forms, would be like OPEC, except for lithium instead of oil, and it would leave the US out in the cold. But worse still, it would set an example that other countries can join together, can unionize, can stand with each other while nationalizing resources and using the money and power of those resources to grow their own country, taking power away from the US. And we just hate that so much. It's like our least favorite thing. It's like when that little piece of fingernail, on the side of your fingernail splits off, but it's too small to cut, and every time you accidentally hit it on something, the hair on the back of your neck stands up, and you're like, ouchie! That's my least favorite thing. If you don't think the US would back a coup over this, keep in mind we already backed a coup in Bolivia against Evo Morales, which has some of the world's largest lithium reserves. When asked about this, Elon Musk, let's be honest, one of the most powerful and idiotic men in America, said, "We'll coup whoever we want. Deal with it." And all of this is not to say lithium mining isn't awful and dirty and terrible. Yes, it is. But kind of like a sex swing, I don't recommend it, but if you're gonna do it, let's make sure everyone benefits. I mean, there's no way that position doesn't end with someone's face going through the drywall. Point being, anyone want to bet what the US government is doing behind closed doors right now? Anyone want to bet whether we'll soon hear the US make some ridiculous announcement that Mexico violates human rights, or has a narco state, or does non-consensual surprise root canals on puppy dogs? I suppose all dental work on dogs is surprise dental work. Or maybe our officials will announce that Nicolas Cage is the new president of Mexico. By the way, the US doesn't care about human rights. Human rights? We send aid to 70% of the dictators on this planet. We give you a tax break if your sex trafficking had to slow down for the pandemic. Of course, in the scope of things, Mexico nationalizing lithium is not as grave an offense to the US as, say, China existing. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll leave Mexico alone for the moment, as long as AMLO doesn't commit the dirty, dirty sin of nationalizing anything else and letting the people of Mexico benefit from other resources. That's it for now, but before you go, I'm one of the most censored comedians in America. If you want to see videos like this continue, click subscribe, share this video, and become a member at leecamp.net. Keep fighting.